I'm Dr. Orion, a veterinarian and a veterinary behavior residency graduate. Today I'm going to answer the most asked questions on Google, Dog Edition. So I typed, why do dogs, and let Google complete it. Why do dogs lick you? Well, licking someone else can be a form of an affiliative behavior. That means that the dog wants to show you that he actually likes you. They will also lick each other for the same reason. Kind of like a kiss, but sometimes it might actually be a pathological thing. Dogs might have a compulsive disorder and they might start licking everything. Sometimes it might be because of some kind of a gastrointestinal issue that's causing them to be nauseous. And it can even be a displacement behavior, meaning that they are actually in stress and don't really know what to do, so they just start licking. Kind of like people biting their nails or something. Why do dogs eat poop? Oh, this one is one of my favorites. I mean, not eating poop. Answering the question. Dogs eat poop for many reasons, but it's different depending on, is it their own poop? Is it some other dog's poop? Or is it some cat or even a person's poop? Taste can definitely play a role. Some dogs might just like the taste. Others are maybe trying to hide the fact that they defecated in the house in case that they were punished by their owners. And there are other reasons, and I don't want to waste your time on just this one topic, so check out this playlist. Why do dogs lick their paws? So actually I already mentioned it when I spoke about why do dogs lick you. So one of the reasons is displacement behavior. Remember, nail chewing? It can also be a compulsive disorder. And it can also be skin issues. So for example, parasites, allergies, bacterial or fungal infections, and even pain can make them lick their own paws. Why do dogs eat grass? Many people are searching for it because it's actually pretty common. And the answer is because they can. There are some theories that it might be helping them with digestion, that it might help them remove parasites from their bodies, that they only do it when they're feeling sick and they're trying to make themselves throw up. But none of these reasons or none of these theories were actually proven. So, most likely, because they like the taste. Why do dogs howl? Well, not all dogs howl. Some dogs don't howl at all. For example, my dogs. Some dogs just howl and don't bark. It is a way for dogs to communicate. It's not like a language, but it does send a message. But the thing is that the message can be different according to the situation. Some dogs do it because they're anxious. Some dogs do it because they heard some other dog or something else that reminds them of a dog maybe, and they're trying to signal them, I'm also a dog, I'm here. Some dogs do it when they're in pain, and some dogs just did it by accident, and their owners found it very funny and maybe rewarded them intentionally or unintentionally, so now the dog is doing it a lot in order to get more attention from the owners. Why do dogs have whiskers? So the whiskers are attached to nerve cells that go all the way to specific parts of the brain. When you map the brain, you will actually find that the same way that the whiskers are on the face, the brain parts are also pretty much at the same organization in the brain, which is kind of cool. Basically, they give the dog more information about his environment by having them move. So for example, if the dog is sniffing something and something touches his whiskers, or if there's wind or something close to his face, he might be able to sense it with those whiskers and get some more information about the environment. Now, unlike with rats and mice, in dogs, the whiskers probably don't play such a big role in knowing things about the environment, in sensing the environment. I should probably also trim my own whiskers, starting to itch. Why do dogs sleep so much? When they're puppies, they sleep a lot because they also spend a lot of energy. Kind of like babies. They will cry, they will eat, they will play a little bit, and they will sleep and sleep and sleep when they're not crying and pooping. If you're talking about older dogs, then many times, kind of like old people, they're just very tired all the time and can't walk as much and might even be in pain, so they're laying down a lot more than they did when they were younger. In between, it might actually be because of sickness and not a normal behavior. But many times, they sleep because they just don't have anything else to do. A dog that lives inside the house and don't have enough enrichment in the environment or from the owners gets bored. And what else can he do? He can't go and turn on the TV to watch something, right? So they just go to sleep. But in general, dogs do sleep more than people. Why do dogs pant? So the act of panting by itself is a mechanism that's supposed to reduce the dog's body temperature. It helps evaporate water from the dog's mouth and by that reduce the temperature. But it's actually not a very good method. It doesn't work that much to reduce the dog's body temperature. But dogs also pant when they're in pain or when they're in stress. So if, for example, you didn't just come home from walking the dog, or it's not hot outside, it's not hot inside the house, and the dog is still panting, you should probably seek advice of your veterinarian or try to figure out if there is something that causes the dog anxiety or stress. Why do dogs shake? So they can shake when they're cold, kind of like people. The shaking is supposed to warm them up a little bit. But kind of like with the panting, they will shake when they're anxious or in pain. And this is probably not what the question meant, but there is something called a shake off. You know that when you come home with your dog after the walk and you take off the harness, you take off the leash, and all of a sudden your dog does this like very big shake with his entire body? We call that a shake off. And that's kind of like stretching. It's kind of like a self-soothing behavior, kind of like helping the dog unwind. And the final question is, why do dogs chase their tails? Sadly, tail chasing is many times a compulsive disorder. The dog can't control it and keeps doing it over and over and over again, sometimes traumatizing his own tail. In severe cases, even after the dog traumatized the tail and it had to be amputated, they will start chasing their own behind and will start biting the base of the tail and the legs. These extreme cases usually require intervention, like with psychoactive medications, like with anti-anxiety medications. If the dog rarely does it, it might just be a part of play, and it can also be an attention-seeking behavior or some kind of behavior that was accidentally rewarded. So for example, your puppy does this tail chasing as a form of play, and you start laughing and petting him and saying how cute. That might actually make the dog understand that doing this behavior is a way to get your attention, or it's a way to get some compliment. So try not to accidentally reward this behavior. In many cases, it's even better to just try and redirect your dog into doing something else. I mentioned the playlist about dogs that are eating their own poop or eating other animals' poop. But if your question is actually why is my dog eating rocks, then you can check out this video.